It's time to have a look at what we can expect for the month of February. Well, we know there has been a lot of action going on in the month of January with South Africa's case at the ICJ and the response to it. And it does look like South Africa is going to continue to try and trade on that foreign policy success or situation that has mostly attracted the attention of the entire world in a mixture of positive and negative ways, but certainly from our chart's point of view, mostly positive ways. What is likely to be going on, judging by the chart, is, as ever, lots going on behind the scenes at the ANC. And what the ANC is doing more visibly than what we saw with Jacob Zuma is they are doing a little bit of a purge in the background. We're bound to see more people leaving or sidelined or moved out of the party in the next couple of months, and especially during the month of February, where it looks like perhaps the reason we're not seeing very much of the president is that he is behind closed doors cleaning house. If you can get that house clean enough, because as I frequently say, it still looks a little dangerous for the president, and I'm not convinced he's going to survive the year as president, and he might be replaced once the election is done. Nevertheless, he is also, and the party is also going to try and capitalize on doing the right thing internationally, or whatever their perception of the international situation is at the moment, because it really looks like a very strong focus on international relations and mostly beneficial results from that, mostly beneficial interactions with that. South Africa could be forging new alliances and gaining new resources. We know that the ANC mysteriously lost its 100 million rand debt. That seems to be a problem that went away. The cost of the ICJ application also seems to be a cost that was somehow handled from mysterious sources. And what the chart reveals is there are indeed foreign sources. I can't tell from the chart what they are, where they come from, or anything like that. But what we can see in the chart, and I think it's on and off throughout the year, but it's very clear in February, lots of resources coming in from far away, lots of input, and lots of strings attached. Since that is all happening pretty secretly, South Africans are not going to know what the strings attached are and are not going to know what the consequences are of not fulfilling that. You might remember we've had similar situations, for example, Russia and nuclear reactors, Russia and energy, Russia and arms in the past. So it's one of those situations where I don't know if it's coming from Russia, but I do know that there are lots of strings being tied around, at the very least, the party, but it does look like the country as well is going to have some of that. So hopefully that won't get us into too many sticky situations, but it does seem to align with the current situation showing in the chart of South Africa benefiting from its foreign relations and mostly building connections and indeed building new connections with foreign partners and so on. It's probable that with a little bit more time, South Africa will be able to forge new alliances, probably because of what's been happening in the month of January. Nevertheless, lots going on behind closed doors as ever, not just the purging, not just the money, but a few surprises which are going to come out. We've already seen in the last week of January a few surprises or not so surprises. Perhaps the biggest surprise about Jacob Zuma is that they didn't kick him out, they just suspended him. And usually those kind of problems come back to haunt you. So that wasn't a very smart way of handling it. But it does look like the country and the party is in a kind of a safe space, in the sense where consequences are not having full effect just yet. The usual problem of most of us don't know what's going on most of the time, because so much of it is secret behind closed doors and secret connections and arrangements and so on. That doesn't change, but what does change is how much of it's beginning to come out into the open as we head towards election season. Logically, it might be that Ramaphosa intends to reveal the election date at the time of his State of the Nation address next week, in the first week of February. That's probable, and that's what most political pundits are thinking at this point, although everyone's thinking, where is that election date and what's going on? Too much secrecy, too much strategy, It's necessary for the ANC to try and delay things, to try and not encourage people to vote, not get involved in voter registration too much. All of that to try and keep from getting too much new voters into the election, because they're probably not going to vote for the ruling party. So there's all this backhanded dealing going on in the chart. But astrologically, not a great time to be doing that, because it looks like some of it's going to be flying out into the public arena, and unexpected things are going to catch the party by surprise. So they have clearly chosen not to learn from their Jacob Zuma experiences, and that is going to continue to come back to haunt them. Not just Zuma, but the consequences with that party that he's part of, and with the province of KwaZulu-Natal, then also consequences there, other things. We're going to see a lot more change in that party, not just what we've seen in the last couple of weeks. So that could be quite exciting, because that can translate into change for the country as well. Not that much else is changing in the country. It does look like our financial situation continues to be problematical, but mysteriously kept afloat by mysterious sources. Nevertheless, locally, the economy, the currency, those kind of things might be where we suffer a little bit because of that. But balanced out by we're getting a lot of help, not only of the financial kind, but the new friendships and the international connections. That's what's paying off. Whether the ANC can distract people from local problems is very unlikely, really, just logically speaking, because the local problems are too big and the foreign problems are too far away and too unconnected to us. But nevertheless, the fact of our reaching into foreign policy and foreign involvement, etc., mostly looks good for the country at this time. So, one of those rare occasions where the ANC wants to do something that's good for the country, we should bask in its light while it's there. Mostly, it's also because the chart shows the government doesn't even know itself where it's going or what it's doing. What's really going on is that they're grabbing at things that are related to what they think they need to do for the election, what they need to do to move the focus away from the problems that they've created in the country, etc. But what is lacking in the chart, and what shows as a confusion and a vagueness that is a little bit worrying, and that is any sense of direction where to go to. You see that in the ANC's consistent failure to do anything but congratulate itself for supposed achievements in things like policy speeches or party speeches. All of that is mostly just Cyril Ramaphosa doing versions of his State of the Nation address, which we're just going to see more of, self-congratulation, etc., at the next one. And all of that, that's not unusual. It's not unusual in politics. It's certainly not unusual for the ANC. But what is important about that this time around, if not before, is that it very clearly shows the complete lack of a direction that the government and the party has, and more so than we realize. They literally have no idea where to go, what to do, etc. And a lot of what we see is they repeat what they know. Where that gets us in the end, well, let's wait and see what that election's got to hold. But I will say at the moment, we are being buoyed by our foreign affairs. We're being supported by what money is coming from that. We're being confused and deceived because of all of that. But mostly, it keeps us in a more or less positive holding pattern during the month of February, as more surprises and secrets come out and some adjustments happen because of that. So more of the same, but with the hype and extreme of the election eventually being fed into this as well. Incidentally, not all good in foreign affairs, because remember, one of the themes of our chart this year is the so-called Saturn return. We're 29 years old, and that's when we have a Saturn return, and that is where many old things that are incomplete come around to be completed, and where the sins of the past finally get addressed. And that is something which increasingly this government is going to have to face. So even if it seems like nothing's going on in February, there's loads going on, not only the purging and the confused running around behind the scenes. I mean, all the confused ANC politicians doing it behind closed doors, so we don't know how confused they are. But mostly little gems pop up every now and then that will continue to give us hope that as we gain clarity, perhaps we will try and create a better future for ourselves than the bunch of confused people right now digging around in the past. Let's see what we can expect for ourselves in the month ahead. For Aries, this is a time when you need to be focusing on bigger goals, time to maybe adjust some of them and get out some of the more significant goals. This is a time when actually it's not that time is running out, but time is of the essence. So you need to focus on that and make use of that as much as possible. It does look like there's a strong potential to get help from others to rope them in. And so this is a great time to get others to help you pursue and achieve some of your goals. That's a great opportunity to actually get some of the bigger things done that are not always easily done on your own. So this is the time to get help from known and unknown sources, especially since it does look like it's a great time for connection and people and friendship. There could be new people, new friends coming into your life, but certainly benefits coming through the people that you know, through your existing social circle and through new social environments. There's lots to look forward to in terms of gains. Generally speaking, apart from the gains in terms of your own goals, this is a good time for your social life. So reconnecting with people, reaching out to people, perhaps even doing a bit of traveling in order to make connections with people. That's really going to help enlarge your circle and your connections and the current and future benefits that you could get from who you know and who you connected to. That's why you need to look at the bigger goals, because it's time to think big, because you'll be able to have a bigger reach than usual to pursue some of those goals. Taurus, there's some things that need a good long look, and this is a time to do that for yourself. There basically are some things in your life that are just not working for you, and yet you might be going on out of habit, out of a sense of obligation, or out of just uncertainty of what else to do. Well, what else to do is do something completely new. The chart does show that something has changed in the last month, and although some of that might be unsettling and it might feel as if things aren't quite working for you as well or as easily or as smoothly as they were, or it's almost as if in some areas of life you might be feeling forgotten, as if something, some energy or attention that's coming your way that was coming your way isn't there anymore. Well, the point is really to relook at what is the meaning of that. Actually, I've been freed to do things in a different way. So a different approach is called for, and that's why you need to look at some of the old stuff and realize I've got to put that aside. Your personal life should be bringing in much better results. There's great opportunity for connection, for affection, for all the personal and social benefits that come out of our friendships and relationships. Why don't you concentrate on those during the month of February while you rethink about how can I go forward when I feel like I've been left by the side? Because you haven't been left by the side. You just need to look at things a little bit differently. Gemini, of course, you're the master at relationships, and of course, you know how to really make them work for you. You're really good at connecting with people, and this is one of those times where your connections are going to be able to help you with your personal life, help you with your professional life, and also bring some new things into your life. It's really just a great time for the thing that you like most, and that is people interacting, especially since it looks like you're getting your way or doors can really open for you. The challenge is a typical Gemini challenge, and that is don't be distracted. There's so much going on, there's so many benefits possible for you. And that it's like it becomes exciting and there's all that stimulation, and you don't really take advantage of it by pursuing some of your goals in the process. Enjoy it because it is a very good month for you, and mostly things will work no matter what they are. Things kind of can't not work for you during this month, but you can fail to take advantage of things that come to you through other people. So that's what you need to make sure that you're doing. It's also a good time to spring clean or anything else that needs to be done around the home. Sort out some stuff, maybe sort out some people in the home, but bring peace and harmony back to your physical space, because it looks like that's where a lot of the strength and foundation is. Probably is going quite well there. This is the time to lock that in, make good connections, bring things back home. Cancerians, you need to sort out some financial matters right now. So this could be a good opportunity to look back at old debt or things that are hanging over your head and perhaps get them done once and for all. There is a possibility that you're not aware of all of it. It does look like there are some surprises or just some finally come round to haunt you financial situations from the past. And where possible, this is a great time to take a brand new approach to this. There is a possibility of benefiting from new ideas, new approaches in all financial matters. So that's both in paying off things that come from the past, if that's debt or whatever it is, as well as new ideas, in fact, even new ideas to make more money. Although, frankly, it's not a great month for making more money, it's certainly a good month for getting rid of old debt and clearing the space for that more money, which also needs to happen. Also, a great month for going inside and re-looking at what are some of your motivations and what means what to you. Cancerians, you need to just have a look at many things in your life. Say, what does it mean? How do I enrich myself? Does it satisfy my need for meaning? Time to kind of sort those things out. What is the meaning of things for me this month? Focus on what really means something. Leos, like many people in the zodiac this month, it's all about connection and people and benefiting from who you know and the people around you. And for you, Leo, it's time to get back to the people you really know, the closest people to you, like it's friends and neighbors. It's almost as if it's people you've always known, the people that you can see as your own space, your own environment, your own people, your own neighborhood. In fact, Leo, where possible, it's time to return to the old neighborhood and just remake some of those connections. There's a lot of value in where you come from and what you know because of that, Leo. So this is a time to really gain the benefit and the value from where you come from and people that you know. There could be great big changes in your life, perhaps because of that, as you look at things a different way, but also because of deeper changes you're making. Simply put, this is a time to have the courage to let go of things where you thought your power was coming from. Let go of what you thought was the most important thing in your life and free yourself, liberate yourself for new sources, for new inputs, etc. I'm probably not talking about relationships. Maybe for some people it is that, but this seems to be to do with you and your resources, and maybe it's your money and your work that's really in this picture. And making sure that you benefit from the letting go is you've got to be the benefit from that. So it feels scary. It feels like there are things that you need or there are things that you rely on that you wouldn't dare move, let go of. But this is your chance. Benefit from the new by reconnecting with where you come from, by reconnecting with the old. Virgos, there could be just way too much clutter in your life in general at the moment, and this is a great opportunity to clear it all out. It's a great excuse not to have to engage with too much about people and their stuff and all of those kind of things, because this is much more all about you just letting go of the things that are dragging you back, clutching you up, crowding your life. It's an opportunity to make that difference to yourself. In fact, it's a little bit no holds barred. I'm just like, God help anyone who stands in your way. There seems to be this ferocity, this force, and that can also be a force of moving forward, ambition, clearing your path in some way. This whole idea in your chart of getting rid of the baggage and clearing the baggage can also work going forward. We just blast everything that's in your way right out of your way, and you can make really good progress there. Where you don't want to let go of baggage is anything to do with partnerships, whether that's personal partnerships or professional partnerships. You're picking up on the theme that's very evident for this month for everyone, and that is benefiting from other people. So there are people in your life, old and new, who will be the source of gains and benefits. But especially the partnership or the relationship itself is the where the benefit happens. So if there's energy that needs to be put into a partnership or making a new partnership or something like that, this is also the month for that, all of which serves your going forward progress at this particular time. Libra, well, the theme for this month seems to be all about relationships as people learn to reconnect, to benefit with each other, from each other, and so on. Even in the country's chart, we're seeing benefiting from others. So, Libra, you're no exception, especially in the things that you like to benefit from the most, and that is personal relationships and personal connection. It is a great time, though, for you to even be taking advantage of that in your professional life, where you need to work with groups of people or any larger connections and networks that need to happen. This is a time that's really going to work for you. Again, especially if you're in a situation where you are having to act with leadership, or where you're having to instruct people, teach people, and so on. Having said all of that, there's a lot of Librans under these conditions that are just going to want to be free to go somewhere, to do their own thing, a strong need to kind of get away, which is not going to serve the need to get benefit from other people at this time. Your refuge is your personal life. There's great gains to be made through your relationship, but even in your relationship, you do need some kind of space and freedom at the moment. So try and balance this need for space and freedom with a little bit of doing your own thing and getting the space to do that, but realizing that both people in general, as well as your most personal relationships, are bringing new things into your life at the moment. Concentrate on relationships. That's what it's really about for you this month. Scorpio, your February is about finishing unfinished business and getting on top of it once and for all. There could be things that you should be paying attention to that you haven't been paid much attention to. That's usually your own stuff of some kind. So that's things like, be it health, or be it some unfinished business that you actually are disadvantaging yourself by not finishing, and you'll know what that is. So this is a time to kind of take yourself in hand and just get things done that you should have got done a little while ago. The great thing about it is that even if it seems that you've left some things late, you're in the perfect situation to really benefit from attacking those things right now. You're in a strong position. You're going to get good results from many things that you do. There are many things in your life this month that are going to produce even more than you expected. But by sitting around, not doing anything, none of this is going to happen. Scorpio is what we call a fixed sign. Scorpios often try and maintain the status quo in order to feel secure. And one of the results of that is that you don't do what you need to or make the changes you need to when it's best to do it. Well, now it's best to do it. So don't worry about the status quo. We'll get back to the status quo. This is the time to attack the stuff that you've been avoiding and really benefit from the results. Enjoy. Sagittarius, I mean, I know that it's just been the festive season and all of that, but it's time to take a break, take a holiday. Well, not so much that it's time to, or maybe that you're just feeling like that. But what you really do need is just a little bit of your own space, doing your own thing. It might not be possible to be taking a holiday or going somewhere at this time of the year. It would be unusual, but you've got to find space in your life for that. It's just like there's just been too much, whether it's people and stuff and all of those things. Maybe you jumped back into the new year too fast, but you actually need to balance things out by giving yourself some fun time. And that's what it's all about. Just making sure some fun and pleasure is in your life at the moment. What is important about that, fun and pleasure also comes from personal life and relationship life. A theme for everyone this month is that it's really all about our connections, and that's especially true for you. Your one-to-one relationships are extremely important this month. Some of you will be forming new relationships. If you haven't been in a partnership for a long time, watch out, it could just be around the corner. And then those of you in relationships, this is also a great time to try and take the relationship further. But in balance to your need for space and freedom, also put some energy into the relationship and just do the stuff that the two of you do together, and that doesn't involve other people and doesn't take you elsewhere. For the most part, for February, work can be put on the side, and that's not the main priority at the moment. And just making sure all these relationships are working, that's your priority right now. Capricorns, in our ongoing February theme of making connections with other people, you've picked up the part of that theme that is about the resources that we need to get from other people. In fact, it looks like you are relying on others at this time, and you need to do things to either ensure that the supply of those resources is secured and that you've sorted out what you need to do, or that you need to establish the supply of those resources. If there's someone you should be approaching, if there's something that needs to be done to bring the resources to you. Capricorns tend to be a little bit proud or just a little bit too independent, and you don't like to rely on others for everything. Well, no man is an island, so we have to rely on others for some things. And in fact, your chart shows enormous benefits to you if you rely on some things from others at this particular time. And you can move away from old issues and kind of create a new narrative and a new path at this time. But in order to get there, something that comes from others needs to be the catalyst, be that money, which is usually what it is, or other resources. That is the catalyst you need. So you need to take a deep breath, swallow your pride, or face the situation and make that connection. And that's going to change many, many things for you. So make it happen. Aquarians, well, you might have heard about the great big scary planet Pluto coming into your sign, and what does that mean for you? For the most part, it only means things when it gets to your little location in Aquarius, which could be anywhere in the next, 16 years or something like that. So it's not something to be afraid of. And if it's a big scary planet, it's only because it demands big changes. So Aquarius, that is the theme. It's time to have a look at your life and ask in the bigger picture what really needs to change. Some of it, the universe is shoving in your face. You don't even need to ask yourself the question, because there are things that are falling away or being torn away, things that are disappearing out of your life. Wave them goodbye, bar the door, don't let them back in. All of those things mean it's time for the new. New input is very important at this time. If you get an opportunity to travel, that will be absolutely ideal. But any kind of new input at this time is really going to benefit you in a big way. That does mean you need to make space of it by being willing to let go of the old. Pluto is challenging you to say, in order for something new to emerge in the next while in your life, you need to let go of, even kill off something of the old. So that's the transition that's required of you. And the easiest way to do it is by seeking the new out through traveling through other exotic inputs, but by not hanging on to what's making you feel secure right now. Pisces, this is absolutely your go and get it month. It doesn't mean it's going to necessarily be automatically easy or automatically successful in pursuing goals, but you've certainly got to point yourself in the direction of your most significant goals at the moment and start going in that direction. So that also means don't lose heart if things don't seem to land, if nothing major comes out of a major effort. It's all good. Sometimes the benefits, the results can only be seen a little bit further down the line. This is one of those times. Don't lose heart. Goals can be the most ordinary, mundane goals, your professional goals and what's required of you at work and all of those kind of things. From working life, where it might seem that you're being unappreciated, to your own personal goals, where it might seem as if you're not getting the biggest results that you're expecting. You need to know that it is actually working for you. You just can't see all the results in some way. Make sure that you also examine what is the bigger purpose of my goals at this moment. And then also, like everyone else, to ask yourself, and how can the people around me help me? It's a great month for friendship, Pisces. At the very least, the benefits from just having a close circle of friends are really going to be very evident in your life. But some of that might also help you adjust some of your bigger goals and some of your purpose so that you can feel that you're really making a difference to the world. As we approach your birthday in next month, this is a time to really reassess and say, going forward in the future, how can I orient myself to goals that make an impact? That's what I really want to do. Good luck with that, Pisces.